Huge shout out to AISKITS for making this video possible. AISKITS makes phenomenal LED bulbs that you can use to replace those factory halogen lights that just don't light up the road very well at night. They have many different sizes that are available, so go on to Amazon. You can follow the link for the description below for these 9005 and 9006 kits, or you can use their Amazon link to find the product that you need for your vehicle. More than that, use the code in the description below to get 20% off your first order. As you can see, these are the factory halogen bulbs for the low beams on my 2006 Avalanche. And the fact that, granted, though it's daylight out, I can look right at them. I'm not even getting any lens flares or anything like that. Tells you they are not that powerful. And even the high beams aren't that much better. So this is exactly why we are changing them out. So removing the headlight assemblies on these GMT800's that are what's known as a cat eye is very, very easy. All you're gonna do is pull up on that little tab, slide this bar all the way out, and then your entire housing can come right out. And this is also real easy, are your bulb housings. All you have to do is give them a small twist and they'll come right out. This is our high beam, and that's our low beam. And then we can actually remove that whole housing out of the way. Now you can see right here on the high beam that or on the low beam, it's a 9006. Says it right there on the bulb housing. And then it's a 9005 for the high beam. All we're gonna do, pull this little tab back just a little bit, and we're gonna pull the bulbs right off. Do the same for the low beam bulb. Comes right off. And now we're ready to change these over to LEDs. So now we're gonna just take and have the headlight housing out of the engine bay so that we can install the lights. For the AISKITS, you open up the box, has a user manual, and then also a small card with all of your warranty information on it. What's nice about these kits is that when you look at your LEDs, they have a wire set on it with a tag. So this is a 9006, lets me know it is my low beam. That tells me exactly where I need to put it. And the 9005s are the same way. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna take this low beam light, we're gonna plug it in, give it a twist, and that one's done. Now we need to get one of the 9005s. We're gonna do the same thing for the high beam location. Now that my bulbs are in the housing, one thing I have to do is actually trim this little bit of plastic that's right here. The reason for that is because if I hold the old bulb up about where it would sit in, you can see that the LED bulb housing actually extends a little bit further back. And the reason for that is because of these cooling fans that are built into it. Now you may think, well, I'll just get a set that doesn't have those fans. The problem you run into then is you don't get the heat dissipation that you need with an LED bulb. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take and we're gonna trim up these two gusset runs here, and we're also gonna trim this piece up just a little bit and open that up. And you can use an X-Acto knife, you can use a Dremel tool for that, or you can use an oscillating tool. And like I said, all we're gonna do is open these up just a little bit and create a little more space for those bulbs. So as you can see, I actually had to trim a decent amount of plastic out in these two spots in order to have space for the LED housings. Now, I'm not worried about that. This still has plenty of plastic there to keep all of that supported, and now we can get it all hooked up. With that plastic trimmed and out of the way, we can finally hook up our lights. Real easy. There's a little lock clip right there that these two tabs go over. We're gonna go ahead and push these wires back out of the way, making sure that nothing's gonna pinch them or anything like that. Then we can get this headlight down into position. There we go. Take our lock bar, run it back into place. And voila, we've changed out to LED bulbs. Now, let's make sure they work. After doing the driver's side, which is the exact same as the passenger as far as having to cut out a little bit of that plastic to make room for the housings, you can see the difference in just the low beams. The high beams are even more so, and just wait till you see the comparison at night. You can see that this is just the normal factory halogen at night. It is not very bright. In all reality, the street lamps are doing more for me than what these are. And they're just not all that impressive. And these are just the low beams. If I were to take and turn on the high beams, which, hang on, you know what? I might as well. There we go. There's the high beams. And my goodness, what a difference those make. I don't think so. The high beams on the factory settings aren't all that much better than the low beams. And it really makes you wonder how GM thought that was passable for a good night vision while driving in a vehicle like this. But let's switch over to the new LEDs. So I am doing the same bit of driving that I did with the factory halogens on, and you can see that it is a major difference between the low beams with those halogens and the low beams with these LEDs. This is an absolute world of difference in just how much I can see, the clarity of the light, how far the light extends out. This is massively different and so much better. So let me come up to this intersection up here, and I'll be able to hit my brights. You'll really be able to see the difference then. So now, if I hit my brights, oh my goodness, what a world of difference. Back to the low beams. So you can see this is definitely a modification that is well worth the money, well worth the little bit of time it takes to get it done. And I will see each of you a whole lot better at night on the roads less traveled.